Hello, welcome to Flashback Friday with King's Quest 6. We are going to harass Prince Alexander tonight. I'm very excited about it. Hopefully this is not too loud. Please let me know. I'm newish at this. It seems loud, but I tried to have the settings right. Okay. Anyway, so welcome to anyone who's here. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I kind of do, but all right, so I'm not gonna do the tutorial because it can get annoying. We're just gonna play. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is the first thing I always do, which is change the speed settings because honestly, they start them off so slow and it really annoys me. And then also I'm going to have just text because that's just what I prefer. The older King's Quest games that I played when I was a kid did not have the option for voices, and so in the sort of the newer, I guess, Windows versions, they all have voices, and it really throws me off because I never played it with voices. I feel honestly like the the voices just seem really weird and fake to me because I'm not used to it. So I'd prefer to just do the text because it's just more like how I'm used to playing. All right, so if you don't know, we have Prince Alexander. He just washed up on shore. It really sucks. I think the tutorial or the beginning, like I've never played before thing, I'm pretty sure that it shows the shipwreck, but we can clearly see there's a shipwreck. First thing is this ring. And I think it's insignia or insignia, something royal. So we have that. And then the plank. Alexander pushes the plank to one side. Oh my. And honestly, you would think that I don't know. I feel like you would feel like after having this entire box it would be more than this little tiny piece of gold. But that's all we got. And it is a coin from Daventry, which is where he's from, and King Graham is his dad from the first game. I actually planned on playing the first game. I wanted to do like 5, 6, 7 because those are my favorite ones. That was the original plan. And then I signed on, and I guess, which it makes sense, but the Galaxy of games are all the newer ones that have the voices. And for this one, for King's Quest 6, you have the option to just do text, just do speech, or do both. But for number 5, you don't. You have no choice. You only have the voice. So, unfortunately, I just wasn't interested in that. At least not tonight, maybe some other time. I know there's lots of other games that just have voices these days, like Thimbleweed Park and stuff like that, but I don't know, for some reason it just annoys the hell out of me, so I'm not gonna do it. The way that it works is it has like it's a narrator, so it's just weird because it'll be like, Graham has picked up the plank and is looking at the box, instead of actually just having the words that says like, Graham examines the plank. It's like this really deep narrator, and I hate it. So let's talk to these guard dogs, which I think is hilarious that they're guard dogs. Good. Politely addressing them. That's a way to start. Good day to you. I was cast upon this island in a storm. I'm a little confused about my location. Could you tell me what place this is and who lives in this castle? A castaway? A likely story. We haven't had any foreigners in this part since Alhazred arrived. I will say King's Quest does a really good job at naming their wizards. They all have pretty, like, badass names. He's not asking for any secrets. That's right, I'm not. You're standing on the Isle of the Crown, and this is the castle of the Crown. The royal family resides here, or what is left of it. Am I anywhere near the land of the Green Isles? In fact, you are. The Island of the Crown is the main island, and this is the land of the Green Isles. Then Princess Cassima must live in this very castle. Also, I've heard it said as Cassima, but when I listened to, and I've always said Cassima, when I listened to the voice version of it, they actually did say Cassima, so I feel very vindicated by that. Yeah. Yep, she's here. We consider it an honor to guard her. Well, that's nice. That's it? That can't be it. I've been traveling for months to see Cassima. I would like an audience, please. Sorry, but she's not receiving visitors, particularly not strangers. I mean, that's reasonable, I would say. Are you gonna make me just keep clicking on it? Can I please speak with someone in charge? I don't know if you want to do that. Who are you that I should bother Captain Saladin? I don't know. I'm Alexander. I'm a prince of Daventry and a friend of the princess. A prince, is it? And I'm lord of the Dusty Path. Step aside. You'll not be getting into the castle without some proof of your claims. Well, listen here, sir. I have proof of my claims. I have a royal ring. So I'm guessing that's what they want me to give them. Because why else would they be asking for royal proof? Alright. Here's my proof, you jerk. I love that he had papers in the shipwreck. Papers, what, like his birth certificate? Okay. Yeah. Perhaps this will convince you it's the royal insignia ring of Daventry. I'm sorry, Your Highness. That's right. You better be sorry. It's just that princes are so uncommon in these parts. Why? Okay. Let me get Captain Saladin. You better. Also, hello to anyone who's here. Hi. I'd love to chat with you. Or you can just watch me harass Prince Alexander. The guards return a moment later with a majestic-looking creature. Captain Saladin speaks with a voice that's gentle. These dogs are very pretty, I have to say. I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with your country, but I'm sure Vizier? Sure. Alhazred will want to meet you, if indeed you are a friend of the princess. I think that Vizier or Vizier is some kind of, I feel like Vizier, I don't know. The last time that I genuinely played this, I was a kid. Like, I played this when it first came out, like when they were selling it at Electronics Boutique, and it came in 15 discs. So as a kid, I think we just said visor, which I don't think it is, but I know what it is, but I don't think it's a visor. Anyway, let's go see the visor. So they do wizards and bad guys very well in this game. This guy's a creep. Lord Alhazred, a visitor, Prince Alexander of Daventry. Actually, I think the bad guy is this dude. I'm gonna put a hat on him. What is it that you seek, Prince Alexander? Vizier. That makes sense. Thank you, David. You would think that I should know. I have a communications degree, but it's just not a word that we use very often, but it is what it is. Yeah, you want to see Cassima. I do appreciate that they have this kind of background. It's very WWE of them, where they kind of recap everything that just happened in the previous game. But King Graham in the 5th one rescued Cassima from Mordak, and then Alexander and her fell in love. It was real cute. Yeah, no viziers these days. I don't know when that word kind of fell off, but it certainly did. Also, in case anybody is wondering, I have my Sierra shirt on. I have the logo on my shirt because I am really cool. So there's that. When my father rescued us, he liberated Casima and sent her home. I don't know why you would do that. You guys were in love, whatever. So he's like, I get it, but why are you here? Well, I came to make sure the Casima arrived safely and pay my respects. Respects? Respects. We know what that means. Ah, I love it. Big fan of. I tweeted this like last week, the week before, that I was going grocery shopping in this shirt, and it got like 160 likes, and I was like, wow, I can't believe how many of my people are out there. Because I just kind of just got on. Well, I do Twitter for a lot of other things, like for my job, but I just got on gaming Twitter recently, and so it's been really cool to see all the people that are super into this like me, because I never realized how many people were out there. So anyway, so this guy's like, you suck. Casima's parents both became ill and died while she was gone, and she's in mourning for them. That's sus. Even if she were, I don't think your visit would be appropriate. Well, geez. With her parents gone, she no longer has the luxury to be a carefree maiden. Okay. I just noticed this guy has his sword about to come out. Like, he's ready to just strike him dead. Apparently Casima's parents wanted them to get married. I seriously doubt that. So you leave before there's any further embarrassment. Oof, harsh. I suppose I was mistaken. I thought for certain that Casima liked me. Well, I apologize. No, you don't. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of the retro people on Twitter, and it's really cool because, well, some of them have like tens of thousands of likes, but they talk about a whole bunch of different consoles and stuff like that. Not that I don't like that. I love Sega and all that stuff, but I've always been like point and click enthusiast for sure. Sorry you wasted your time. Whatever. He's like, get out of here. He's like, while I'm here, I think I'll just, take a nice touristy visit. Escort you from the castle. Good day. So, this dude here with the really bad 90s chain, his eyes keep glowing. So that's how you know he's bad. Oh my gosh, look at those stickers. Look at Cedric. I love those. Are those like, do you have to like get some special pack for that or something? I don't know a lot about Twitch. Let's see, we got Roger Wilco. Well, multiple Roger Wilcos. Robin Hood from Conquest of the Longbow. Is that Leisure Suit Larry? Cedric and the tomato from that you throw with a stick in the mud. Well, I've had my hearing with the vizier, so peace. I've been instructed to not let you into the castle again. Good day. That's fine. I will find my way back in. Mark my words. Oh, that's rad. That's cool. I'm gonna have to find... I've followed a couple people. I followed someone yesterday that was playing Thimbleweed Park, and it was so much fun. Yes, I do follow him or her. I don't know. Space Quest historian. Does he stream? All right. So, okay. And let's see. All right. So I know I'm not going back there for a while. At least I don't think I have to. I got Mr. Lampman over here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely names, especially on Twitter. There's names that I keep saying over and over again, and that's definitely one of them. Some Sierra people, I mean, he's probably mostly Space Quest adjacent, although I think he sometimes will talk about other stuff too. I love Space Quest. I was thinking about the other day when I was watching one of the other streamers had the emotes, and one of them was Stan, which I thought was so cute because Stan's my favorite from Monkey Island. But one of the ones that I want to do, if I ever, and hopefully I do, get to be able to make my own emotes, is the alien from Space Quest, the like real creepy one that points and like, I guess, kills you. I think that would be a fun emote for a stream because it's very emotive anyway. I like this guy. I like this shopkeeper. He's my favorite. He's like super nice. Good day, merchant. Oh, it's a dark time. He's kind of very James Earl Jones-ish. Without the ferry, communication, yeah, we have no ferry. The ages of peace have ended. Oh no. He just seems so kind. But then I'm a shopkeeper, not a politician, thank God. I can only hope for better days. Okay. What do we got going on here? No one cares what the table's made out of. I was trying to look at the objects. How bide you, good merchant? Quite well, but buy me something reasonable. Okay, I know I have to buy something. Maybe I have this copper coin. Is it of any value to you at all? I've never seen a Daventry coin before. But it's copper enough. Like, your royal coin is not good enough. Very cool. I might even find a buyer who's interested in... Oh, this guy? Oh my gosh, yes. Hi, Invict first Knox. Oh my god, you'd think I never spoke before, Jesus. Anyway, yeah, this guy is rad. Like, there's something about him that just gives me like really cool vibes. I don't know if it's the like the 70s glasses or like the goatee or like whatever, but this guy's he's really cool. Okay, so the items on the counter are the only things in the store that I can let go for your cheap ass copper. You may make your choice from there. Oh, Alexander, he has a mullet? I guess he kind of does. Wow. Yeah, he is very John Stamos. And I will say that in the DOS version, because like when they talk, they show the picture of the guy. In the DOS version, he just looks like this pixely dude. And in the Windows version where he talks, they make him look like this really suave Stamos guy. I wonder if I can actually switch in between them. I'm not sure. Anyway, which one do I pick? I know that this one I don't need till much later. This one I don't need till much later. It's either the flute or the bird. Birds aren't real, so I'm going to pick this one. Mechanical nightingale, I'll take it. Very well. This is a pawn shop. Oh, that's right. You can just return them and get another one. As a hockey fan, I appreciate the mullet. I actually have a book called like The Art of the Mullet, and it just goes through tons of mullets in time. I think I saw it at the bookstore. It was like a bargain bin thing. So I literally have an entire book of mullets because hockey players are notorious for them. So let's see. I'm gonna take a mint. Can I just take one? No, just one. And then I think I have to give him this. Can you tell me what the value of this might be? This by the sands of the sea. It's so dramatic. Okay, so I don't have to do that yet. I just had to give him the gold coin. I think eventually I have to give him my ring as like a bargain for something. Okay. Let's go. I'm stressed out about the bookstore because I've played this game quite a few times, and if you've ever played this game, you know that there's a clown that you have to meet in here named Jalo, and if you don't do it right, the whole game is screwed up. This game is not as bad as the original King's Quests where you basically do anything and die. But there's a lot of... Oh, this one's really sad. Yeah, she's like, it's like Cinderella. You still gotta do the breakfast dishes. Yeah, that's fine. Ew, what a jerk. Yeah, this game can get... You can definitely... So the one thing about these old games I've noticed is that, like, here with the water, it'll let you just walk in. Like, just walk in and die. Whereas a lot of the newer games don't tend to have that feature. Like, it's very built in where you can't die even if you want to. These old Sierra games are like, one wrong move and you're dead. Yeah, what do you... Oh, look at this guy. Woo! All right. You got the Fu Manchu and the earring. This guy's what's up. What do you want? I want to talk to you. No. Go away, the ferry's out of business? Wait. I think the, like, thing's messed up. Do I have to give him my ring? I'm a prince. Alright, I don't think we have to do anything with him right now. It's a shame. Sorry, man. Alright. Maybe I do have to go in the bookstore. Oh, I'm so stressed out about it. I'm saving Jalo. I don't think it's that early that this happens, but I'm just paranoid. Oh no, there's... Where did the artists, how drunk were they when they drew these people? Okay, I'll be right up. I don't need your help, but thank you. What can I do for you? Now, I think I'm supposed to talk with him and, like, give him way too much information, and then this robed dude overhears it. But whatever. Good day, sir. I'm a stranger. How would you say that? I'm never going to look at him the same again now that I know he has a mullet. I love it. I love it so much. And what about this scarf? Like, he's truly just doing too much. Who are you and what do you want? I'm Alexander. Tell me everything. Literally. Anxious is the man who knows not the customs of the land. That's very poetic. Well, he is a bookkeeper. Royal families here. We know that. We also have the docks that apparently don't work. And there's 3 other islands. Sacred Mountain, Isle of the Beasts, and Isle of Wonder. At least 3? Does no one know? That's so dramatic. Has anyone else that's here played this game before? Like, have we all played it or no? This has always been a place of vague boundaries. I don't like that. As if islands come and go. Okay. Legends speak of a 4th island. I don't know how, you know, I don't want to rush it, but if we all kind of know what's happening, then I don't want to, like, yeah, I'll explain it if I need to, but this guy's just telling me everything we already know. I've been talking a lot about King's Quest on Twitter lately. It's just been mostly making fun of Cedric, but it's too easy. Yeah, I know I should probably learn firsthand. Ferry no longer runs. Political unrest. Oh, maybe I needed to come here first to talk to this guy before I talked to the ferry guy. That's probably what it was. If you haven't been there already, seek an audience at the castle. Well, yeah, they threw me out. This guy is like... He's a little bit like, what you call it? Like philosophical. My only wish is for more time to read. Good for you, sir. All right, so I kind of half remember the changing role of court entertainers through the ages. Am I supposed to talk to this guy? No. What's this? Take one, please. Okay. I actually kind of forget about this part. Geez, I really want to get rid of this book. I forget what it is. Book from the bargain table. You're not going to tell me what it is? Oh yes, this is the boring book. I love the subtle clues. What an incredibly boring book. I think I have to look at self-help. He doesn't want to read Tony Robbins. How to become a king with little or no rupees down, finding the right girl with the right dowry, and why good princesses like bad wizards. Ha ha. Poetry. There's like a love poem I need, right? Yikes! Love poems. That's right. I love how the poem that he said was related to him is the one that just happens to fall out. Okay, well, we're gonna steal poetry. I think I did everything I need to do in here. I think I remember what I need to do. Music's good enough. Oh, I thought there was gonna be a bird here. I feel like I'm like 90% remembering this game, but there's a bit of a like a little bit of a gap because I haven't played it in so long. When I used to play it before, when I was a kid, I played it a lot, so I have played it multiple times, but it's just been a while. I know there's a bird that comes and sits here, but I guess I'm not ready for that yet. Maybe because the merchant or the book guy mentioned the ferryman, now he'll actually talk to me. Oh. Hey, stranger, come join me. The water's wonderful and I can show you the way to the next island. No. Good day, I'm Alexander. What are you doing, creepy child? What does it look like I'm doing? I'm swimming. I mean, come join me. The water's wonderful. Come join me if you're brave enough. I'm being peer pressured by a blonde kid. Jump in, a little water won't hurt you. I literally just said if you go in there, you die. So, it's just a dumb wizard taking other people's forms. Yeah, no. No gracias. Alright, be that way. Jeez. The young boy in the water just disappeared. Well, maybe he dove under the water. Maybe he disappeared because he's a wizard. I said the ferry's out of business. No, I know. I just want to talk to you. Excuse me, my name's Alexander, the owner of the... There we go. The bookshop told me you could help me. I'd like to talk to you. You say old Ali sent you? I can't see why. The ferry's not running as it's sitting there with like gaping holes in it. Clearly it's not running. Uh, it's kind of cute for a boat. What is it you want to talk about? Your shark tooth necklace. Tell me everything. I'm a visitor. Why is the island's only ferry been dry docked? It isn't safe. The Vizia Al Hazred ordered the ferry closed till everything settles down. I don't think she'll ever see the water again. Why are the islands fighting? I don't know. Stolen property. Everyone used to be friends. Then this unrest is recent. A few years, but long enough. Perhaps if the ferry were repaired. That's a little shade. Well, maybe if your boat worked. This old thing, it's not even seaworthy. Yeah, we can tell, sir. There must be some way to get off this island. There's only one other way that I know of, a magic map. The pawn shop guy can tell you more about that. Why didn't he tell me in the beginning? Tell me more about the ferry. Used to work, now it's a piece of shit. I remember the last trip. Me too. Am I supposed to take this, or are you gonna give it to me? I feel like they made it a bright color, so I would take it. I'm out of a job. Well, you look unemployed, sir. Is there no other boat? No. This is very paraphrased. Is there another boat? Nope. Tell me more about the princess. Beautiful child. And her mother was also nice. He looks unemployed or extremely employed. As what? A shark tooth necklace sailor? When you have to run the ferry at 4 and strip at 8? Oh, they're sorely missed. Yeah, it's a shame. Yo, this guy is like, yeah. He just sells shark tooth necklaces and that's it. And he only has 2. You gotta have a good sense of humor. Give me your damn rabbit's foot. I see you have a rabbit's foot. Has it brought you much luck? As you can see, no. You're right. You're very right. Does it tell you what his name is? Remember that thing that used to be popular online? It was like a couple years ago, and it would be like, what does this guy do for a living? Or what does it look like I do for a living? That was always fun. All right. I'm gonna keep talking to him because I feel like this is one of those games where if you don't and you miss information, you're donezo later, and I'm not here for that. The Isle of the Beast is pretty, but you can't get very far. Well, don't just stop there. The inhabitants of the Sacred Mountain are gorgeous if you ever get to see them. Castle of the Crown is a beauty. That makes sense. Some say the land of the Green Isles is near the edge of the world, and as the deadly currents are a result of a magnetism that sucks life from the world. But that's just silly talk. I don't know. You seem to know a little bit about witchcraft, sir. Let's see. Isle of Wonder's a lovely place, a bit crazy. You gotta have a good sense of humor. Okay, we've looped around everything he can say, so I think we're good. I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your shanty. It breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean. I don't know. No, I don't. What a weirdo. I don't remember. I don't think I need him for anything else. I think we're good. Bye. Okay, so now that he's told me about Casima's family, he definitely, oh my gosh, he definitely goes to the Renaissance Fair all the time. Not the medieval time, the Renaissance Fair specifically. Where's this bird? Maybe am I supposed to play it and attract it? I don't remember, honestly. I'm just guessing. No? Yes? No? Okay, I definitely have everything down here, because there really is nothing to get. Right? I don't have any, I can't get to the ship. I've done all that. You know what, though? I think what they're doing, which I appreciate it enough, what they're doing is they're sending me somewhere in a, like, things that I have to do in a row. Because it wouldn't let me talk to the boat guy till the bookkeeper mentioned it. Now I probably have to ask this guy about the magic map, because he mentioned it. Oh, this guy again. The dusty shop. There's a lot of, like, low-key shade in this game. Excuse me, merchant, but the ferryman mentioned that you might have a magic map. Like, why just say it in front of someone else? Like, this is a secret. Why, as a matter of fact, I do. I keep it under the counter, you know, this magic map. It's just here. It's been gathering dust so long I nearly forgot about it. Oh, I love the shade. It's just right there. Subtle, but there. The estate of a wealthy wizard fell into my hands. You know, it just happens all the time. Useless magical junk mostly, which reminds me I've still got some things of his in the back I need to dump out. Fine. Magic map was the true treasure. It is said that one need only desire to be on an island depicted on the map to find oneself there. It's very valuable. No one's interested in traveling these days. Can relate. Although I did just get back from New Orleans, so I am traveling. It's far too dangerous with the current state of the kingdom. What would you take for it? Something magic. This is where I have to pull out my royal ring and be like, bam, take it. Would you be willing to take my family ring? Daventry? Are you a king? He should just say yes, but he doesn't. No, that's just my father. I'm just Alexander, you know, just a prince. Are you sure you can part with such a unique family heirloom? It means a lot to me, but it's only gold. There's more important things at stake now. Okay. If you find anything else of great value in your travels, you can return your ring. I would hate to see it melted down. It will only operate when you're out in the open and within sight of the sea. Of course you tell me that after I give you my most valuable object. Alright. Oh. The old man stuffs the mint into his mouth. Why is there a huge bear? I always wondered that when I was a kid. Like, what the heck? Oh, seconds later in the castle. Behind the scenes. Master, I followed Prince Alexander as you always... Is he drunk? From the pawn shop. He just abstained. Just reprieved. He just got a magic map. Is he drunk? You've been eating those mints again. He's drunk on mints? Is that the weakness of the genie in the lamp? Mints? Yes, master. Now what is this about a magic map? With a map, he can travel anywhere as Bickley as I can. I thought I took care of the only means of travel. By my... scimitar? Scimitar. Is that like a lute? I'm guessing it's a weapon. I can't have him stirring things up now. Get a hold of yourself, Shamir. Shamir. Go to the other islands and tell them. Uh-oh. Is that what it is? I mean, I always figured it was a weapon, but I never looked it up even when I was a kid. Oh, the map. Wait, where's the lamp guy? Okay, so I'm going to just keep saving the game Jalo until I run into Jalo. That's my plan. Oh, there he is. Okay, I have to do this right or I'm gonna get screwed up later. I have to talk to him about... I have to become friends with him. Good day, sir. Is there anything you can tell me about the land of the Green Isles? Sorry, I have no time for idle conversation. I'm too worried about the princess. You mentioned the princess? I'm not interested in talking to strangers. Oh no, did I do it wrong? Was I supposed to show him my ring? Fuck. Does anybody know? Did I already mess it up? There's multiple ways into the castle, but if you don't befriend him, I think they all kind of... But what do I show him? Is it the ring? Like, was I supposed to come in here first? I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, I just know that I don't have anything else to show. Oh, wait. Alright, I think I know what to do, but I don't know if he's going to still be in here. So, I think what I need to do is... the bird. Okay. This is what we're going to do. We're going to hope that he's still in there. Because there's like a tiny little bird in this wood, in this tree up here. The real nightingale listens intently. Okay. So there's two things that are going to happen. Either one, I'm going to do this and Jalo's still going to be there, or I'm going to restore my game, which is why I saved it. But it's going to be quick. So I'm going to give the love poem to the bird. And there's a creepy snake that just showed up. Because it's obviously the wizard. Because the bird belongs to Cosima, and he's going to deliver the letter. Well, it's a love poem from the library. I forget if I'm just supposed to wait. Or if I'm supposed to, like, go in a different scene. If I leave and come back, maybe. I thought it showed a cutscene of her getting the letter. Oh my gosh. I feel like I need to get my ring back. Can I give him... Can I trade the map back for the ring? Can I do that? I don't think I've ever tried to do that before. Okay. Okay. So I think that's the problem. I think I gave him my ring too quickly. Because I'm pretty sure I give... Jesus Christmas. I'm so confused. Is Jalo going to be in here? No. Okay. Let me try something. I'm gonna try to go back and not... I'm gonna try to immediately get my ring back and see if Jalo's in there now. Because I remember, for whatever reason, I remember in the past, like they... And I don't know if they build this in on purpose, but I remembered that when I played before, like, he would be in there and then he would be gone and he just wouldn't come back. Okay. So hopefully I can... Well, at least I saved the game, so I can always try a couple different things. Determined to learn more about the strange man's relationship with Princess, he shows the man his insignia ring. My name is Alexander. He thought he was proposing to him or something. Also, Jalo, what a look, man. Daventry, where have I heard of Daventry? Flying flitmice? You must be Prince Alexander. She told me all about you when she arrived home. How came you here? You know Cosima? She truly spoke of me? Yeah, I saw her briefly. She mentioned a prince to me, Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm afraid that was before she was told about her parents' deaths. She arrived home a few weeks too late. The king and queen thought they'd never see her again. They died of heartbreak. No, that's just what the creepy wizard told you they died of. Terrible indeed. Everyone in the kingdom is despairing with her. Where is she now? She's in mourning. The vizier says she insisted. She didn't. You've yet to say who you are. I'm Jalo, the clown to the royal court. And he's got a sweet hat. They wanted a kid really bad. I'm worried about her. About her grief over her parents. I don't trust the vizier or his plans for her. I'm still living at the castle as his clown, but it's more to keep my ear to the ground than out of loyalty. We appreciate you, Jalo. I wish I knew what she thinks these days. If only I could find Sing Sing, her pet nightingale. Sing Sing? Like the prison? I must wait for the end of her seclusion. I might be able to send the princess a message. Now I'm afraid I must hurry back to the castle. I'll try to return to the bookshop again later. Thanks for speaking with me, Jalo. Jalo. I hope we meet again. Alright, well, I'm really glad that I did that because I really could have messed that up. And I knew that that was coming. So it really was just that I had to give him the ring. What's this? How much for that book on the counter, dude? It's a fine book. I obtained it from the estate of the one and only magician in this kingdom has ever had. Proved himself into an aardvark. That's one way to go. I'll tell you what, if you can find another rare book, I'll be willing to exchange it. Reasonable. Reasonable. Alright. Have you guys ever played King's Quest? So, 2 questions. Have you ever played King's Quest 7? And also, I'm very nervous about this, but I did get King's Quest 8 from Galaxy of Games, and I'm like kind of nervous to play it because I grew up on King's Quest and I love it, and I heard it's so bad and that it doesn't even have like the Daventry family in it. And so I feel like I don't know why I bought it. It was like $2. I don't know. But anyway, I'm interested to know if I'm seriously wasting my time. Alright, so now I think I need to talk to him. Never even tried this series, actually, but always heard good things. Oh, okay. Yeah, so the King's Quest series in general is amazing and iconic and everything. The first couple games are text games, but they did eventually make them into like VGA, EGA games. I've only really seriously played 5, 6, and 7. 5 and 6 are very similar to this, and then 7 is super 3D. I actually love 7. A lot of people don't necessarily love it, but I always did. And but number 8, which is the Mask of Eternity, I came out a long while after the original games, and I heard that it's not the same story at all, which just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why you would have literally 7 games that span like over a decade where you're telling the story of Graham, King Graham, Alexander, Rosella, and like all the different characters, and then all of a sudden you're just like I don't even think it's a cousin or something. Like I think it's just supposed to be um it's just different characters altogether, and I feel like it would just ruin it. I did play I played the newest one. I think it's just called King's Quest Collection. I played it on PS4 and it was so good. It was so different. It was more of like an open world kind of situation. Um and but it was Graham, he's like Alexander's dad. He's like super old. It's like a deathbed thing, and he's telling stories to Alexander's kid and Alexander's sister's kid, so his grandkids, and kind of telling them the story of what happened when he was younger, and then they're taking over the adventures and stuff like that. And yeah, it was really good. Sing Sing, like the prison. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to give the Nightingale the ring first, or well, I can't now. Okay. I gave him or her the letter before, and Alexander sorts for the odds and ends. Magic exploding gum wrappers, a cracked wand, a fake thumb, a little glass bottle labeled ink. It appears to be empty, but he takes it anyway. Smart. So I'm almost positive I have to give the ring to the bird. So I'm just gonna try one more time to get my ring back. Now that I've like lured the bird down. And I also found the bird, so I think Jalo can send a message. Okay. Alright, so clearly I'm wrong. Once I get the map, the bird appears. I don't love that. But I am happy that I can continue to exchange it like I did with the whole Jalo thing. Alright, so I'm gonna try to do the same thing I did before. Alright, so as soon as I have the map, the bird shows up, of course. Alright, so I'm gonna try the love letter again. Because I just remember there being a cutscene. Oh, I think I probably just needed to hear from Jalo that the bird belonged to her. Like I said, everything has to be done in order. So, I know I have the desktop audio low for obvious reasons, but this song that's in the background of this cutscene, it's called Girl in the Tower, because obviously it's about the girl in the tower. There's actual lyrics to it. I think you can find it on like YouTube and stuff. They actually kind of, back when these games were super popular, they would produce like soundtracks, and I guess some people still do. But if you go on Spotify and you search for Girl in the Tower, there's actually a metal band that did metal Girl in the Tower, and it's actually really good. So, yeah, I think the graphics are really nice, but I think this might be an updated, it's not remastered, but it is, I think the cutscenes are also better than the regular graphics. Sing Sing, what have you found? This is no mere bit of paper, but words of love. Who sent this? It must have been Abdul. It wasn't Abdul. Huh. Alright, so I'm gonna check really quick to see if Jalo's in here to tell him that I found the pigeon. Alright, he's not. So, again, how the heck am I supposed to let her know that it's me if I don't have my ring? Like, how would you... I guess maybe I was supposed to do that first. This ring is a pain in the ass. Alright. Now I'm mad. Alright, so... we're about to get into the part of the game where you can just straight up die at nothing. I'm going to go back to Sing Sing. Not the prison. The bird. I think that I'm going to not mess with the bird right now. Because I have this saved game. I really want to go back to it. I'm pretty sure, though, that I'm going to go with the map. Okay, so the first place I want to go is the Isle of Wonder. And the thing about the Isle of Wonder, which is so screwed up about this game, is the second that you get there, you're greeted by these like dwarves that they have, I guess, like all the senses, like sight, taste, smell. And you have to like fool them, but the thing is, if you don't, they kill you. Like you're just done. So it's just one of those things where I'm trying to make sure I have everything before I go there, because it's a mess if you don't. There's so many ways to die in the early King's Quest games. Alright, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go everywhere but there first. The Isle of Wonder is like Dead Sea. So let's go to the Isle of the Sacred Mountain. See if we need anything there. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's some stuff here. Alright, so a flower. He picks the flower and it's hideously strong. Gross. I'm not going to do this now because I'm not at this part of the game. Like, I'm going to do other things, but this here, these cliffs are one of my favorite parts of the game. There's riddles on the cliffs, and when you solve them, the steps appear in the cliff and you're able to climb up. And what you find when you climb to the top is really awesome. That's one of my favorite parts. Like that area, that whole area is one of my favorite parts of the game. Although this is genuinely my favorite game. Isle of the Beast. This game... Oh, look at the deer. This island, I think it stops you pretty quick. Yeah. Can I... Ouch, that water. I wasn't trying to touch the water. I was trying to touch the mushroom. I thought I was about to die. So obviously I can't get through this right now. I don't think I need anything here, but this is further down the way. I mean, it gives you... It's pretty decent at, like, making it obvious you don't have what you need to do this right now. So I was at the Isle of the Crown. I checked the other islands. I'm gonna go here. And if I die, I die. I think I'm okay. I'm not 100% sure. But I haven't been far enough yet to really warrant, it's not a big deal. But I probably am gonna save a lot. Because, all right, so you start here and you're just like, there's something floating in the water. There's this oyster, and he has a pearl in his mouth. Why aren't you asleep like the other oysters? I'm weary, but I can't sleep. I have a terrible ache in my mouth. Am I supposed to read him the book? The boring book? If you're having trouble sleeping, perhaps you'd like me to read to you. Hey, that would be great. All right. I gotta be ready. So he's reading the boring book. Gotta be ready to snatch the pearl. Fuck. Got it. Yeah. Gotcha. Hey, you fixed my mouth. Prince Alexander DMD. Alright, he's sleeping. That's nice. Okay, so there's this thing that's in the water here. A string of letters floats in the water. But here's the thing. I think if I go in there to get it, I get pulled out into the current because this game tries to trick you at every damn turn, especially when it comes to water. They're always trying to get you to go out in the water. Okay, now you're supposed to wait and they get you because you think it's close enough and it's not, but now it is. Alexander picks up the object floating and appears to be a string of letters. They say, "Where are you going?" It's very philosophical. All right, so as soon as I start walking in any direction, I'm going to get assaulted by gnomes. Alexander hears someone coming. The first time I played this game, I was not prepared, and I just wasn't ready, and it's a little creepy, and not fully creepy because it's not like wizards and magic, but it's 5 fierce guards of the Isle we be, watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes, its nature cannot be disguised. If man it be, then man it dies. And the reason why all the islands are so hostile is because the vizier made his genie come and tell all these people to watch out for me because I'm evil. So they're all immediately looking to kill me. Okay. Old Tom Tro, smell your smell, do that which you do so well. Alexander holds the flower out to the gnome with the jumbo nose. Tom Tro I am, that's all I'll be. My nose knows all on land and sea. A flower of stench has washed ashore. A flower is all and nothing more. We tricked old Tom Tro. Listen, hark you, Grosvenor? Do your duty as you swore. With your ears, please tell us more. Use a nightingale on old him. Alright, let's go, man. Yeah, that's right. A nose is not a way to spy. My ears cannot... Oh, there's some shade again. A nose is not a way to spy. He's like, this idiot who smelled a flower is stupid. I hear a nightingale. That's all there be. No man is near, and so say me. Look at this guy. He's all ears with an earring. Interesting. Taste grump frump, that we might know whether friend or whether foe. Oh my gosh. Grump Frump knows a tasty treat. It matters not what others bleat. No danger is this one so sweet. Mints aren't sweet, bud. Okay. Trilly dilly, use your hands. Is it beast or is it man? Oh my gosh. Who sat in like a creative meeting and came up with this? So what I want to know genuinely is I understand that they're using their senses, but like can they, one with the hands, can he not see? Can they not all see? Be all you mad, what aileth thee? A bunny can't trill merrily, a hare does not at all taste sweet, a rabbit here is all we greet. Like they're all disagreeing essentially. Now this is the one that totally throws you off. Old Bill Batter, never fatter. Vision can resolve this matter. Look you now and end this chatter. So, if you don't search through the trash when James Earl Jones throws the stuff into the bucket, then you're screwed. And if you don't get where they're going with it, you're screwed. But this is the guy who actually opens his eyes and looks to see if he's there. And I don't know, the answer to this is a little out there, I think, as far as logic goes, but basically you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then you take this ink, and it's invisible ink. By all that's beauteous, fair, and sightly, 4 morons do I sleep with nightly. There's nothing there at all, I say. Enough of this, let's now away. We got him. And we never see them again. I guess they're just the guards. That sounds like a him problem. Yeah, maybe stop sleeping with your friends. Alexander did it. He's fooled the guard. Yeah, you did. Okay. So we fooled them. Okay, so now we can actually explore this area. And there's a bunch of books, and this always scared me as a kid. This spider, because you have to talk to it. It can kill you. Everything can kill you in this game. I think it's like, oh, I died. That's why I just saved it. I thought you talked to it. Oh boy. This is dramatic. Foreshadowing. Why do you think they call her a widow? I will say, I love Sierra death screens, especially Space Quest, are so snarky and so like sarcastic and stuff. They're the best. Okay, so I do have to talk to the spider, so I guess using my hand is not advised. I have to actually use the thought bubble. Wow, hiya, gorgeous. I didn't know spiders were attracted to people, but thanks. How charming you to pretend you don't know. I'm Black Widow, the femme fatale of all femme fatales. Know what I mean? I was just thinking it was time I found my 50th husband. My 50th husband. It would be quite a horror, an honor to have me as a bride. Just look at my beautiful weaving. It's so light, you'll never want to leave. It's a lovely web, my heart is elsewhere, I'm afraid. Well, the loss is yours. Okay, so I think that, because what you want is this piece of paper, but when you first play, you don't know that that's what you want. You think you might want one of the books or whatever. I'm pretty sure you just pull, there's this little tiny bit of web down here, and you pull it, and she gets like mad that you're ruining something. Hey, don't touch that. And then she goes, and you can grab the piece of paper. Love. It just says love. And then flies away? The wind blows a scrap of paper from it, he remembers what it said well enough. This is back when, in the 90s, when you had like a, I don't know, at least I did, have like a notepad next to you. Because obviously these days, you can just take a screenshot or take a picture of the screen or whatever, or type it out on the notes or whatever. But you used to have a pad with you and write down every little clue in case you needed to come back to it. Oh, Jesus. What do you think you're doing? What is that? I'm sorry, I didn't realize these books had an owner. I'm in need of a rare book. No owner. All books have owners, and this book owner, bookworm to you. Oh, it's a bookworm. LOL. Isn't there something I can do for you to pay for the book? Do you have an itinerant clause? No. What the hell was that? Okay. What? Don't mind oxymoron and diphthong. They're fairly limited grammatical principles, you know. How high were the people in the Sierra Creative Meeting when they created this? That's just, it was the 80s. A marsh pig that does taxes? No. A dangling participle? Fresh out. A purple fiddle whacker? No. An idiosyncrasy, perhaps? I do have that. What good are you? Okay. Sure. I'm out. I'm done with this fever dream. Let's see. Oh, are we, I don't know if David's still here, but we're gonna need that tomato emote pretty soon. That bump on the log does not look particularly conversational. Not yet. Oh, this is weird too. This tree I think is a dogwood, but it like barks at you and it's kind of creepy. Alexander takes a bottle of milk from the milkweed bush. Apparently the dogwood tree doesn't like Alexander standing that close. The glass bottle's full of milk. How strange for a plant to produce not only milk, but a container to go with it. Yeah, that is kind of funny. At least they're self-aware. Okay, let's see. I sort of remember what to do. How did you manage to fall off the vine, Mr. Tomato? What do you think? I'm old, I'm rotten, leave me alone. If you say so. I think I had to take this. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Get your hands off me. One never knows when one will need a rotten tomato. True. Alright, so... I don't remember what this is. Unless Alexander is mistaken, those plants must be baby's tears? What's this? Is that lettuce growing in the garden? It looks a little chilled. Alexander picks a head of iceberg lettuce. Ye gads, is that cold? I have to say that I do appreciate some of the, I guess, like, older language, because, I guess they're trying to come off maybe, not medieval, but, like, royalty or whatever. That's why when I tweeted it, the title of this is Zounds, because he says that, and it's nothing that anybody says, but whatever. I'm trying to remember what to do with this coffee table. Good day, snapdragons. Snapdragons don't seem inclined to communicate with anyone. Now I need this guy. There appears to be a hole in the wall. Okay. Zounds! Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that it was right there, but there it is. I think he says it other times too, but it's just like Zounds. Like I've never ever encountered that in real life. The only time I've ever seen it is in adventure games, specifically this one. Those wallflowers sure are shy, and the snapdragons are awfully protective of them. Alexander can't even get close to the wallflowers without causing quite a stir. Oh, I like half. Yeah, like Zounds. I think it's supposed to be like OMG or like wow or something like that, but it's like it's one of those things that it just makes me think like who was using it, who came up with, cuz I don't, to be honest with you, I don't necessarily know what um oh, here we go. I'm looking it up on my phone. It says Zounds, expressing surprise or indignation. Zounds, said the admiral, it goes on forever, and it is considered to be archaic and humorous. So I don't know who knew that word and who knew that it was like an older style word. Um, but they really brought it out. Oh, thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you again. Yeah, somebody was like, we're using it in this game. I know I have to do something here later, but I'm not sure if I need to do anything now. I don't think they're gonna kill me. But everything kills you in this game. Excuse me, what land lies beyond? Chessboard land. Go figure. I see in its chessboard land part of Green Isles. It's home of the red and white queens. Rules of the Isle of Wonder. Favors the islands that owe loyalty to. Okay. But perhaps not for long. What do you mean? What is the purpose of unity with the great king and queen dead? The princess is worth serving, but the feud with the other isles is strong. Well, yeah. I don't think I have what I need here. That's okay. I must insist, your highness. I shall send a lump of coal to the vizier and the princess as a present for their wedding, and that's the end of it. Okay, so I'm clicking through right now because it's they're having an argument about who should send a lump of coal to Princess Cassima to her wedding to the wizard. Oh, okay. So I don't have the answer to their problem, which I will later, but they did drop this scarf, which I will need. That's the silliest. They're arguing. Okay, so I'm gonna pick that up. Am I supposed to give the milk to the babies? I kind of remember. Alexander gives one of the baby's tears a bottle of milk. The other baby's tears seem to resent his gift for some reason. Does that distract the wallflowers? I don't remember what the giving the milk. Am I supposed to take their tears? I must need something else. Alright, well, we'll be back. because I need the hole in the wall for later. Can I talk to this guy? Alexander sees no point in trying to talk to that stick in the swamp. I have to do something with... Oh. Oh. Okay. So we're gonna... I'm gonna do this just because I don't feel like dealing with this another time. So this is, Hey, Matt. Oh, I love that. I love the emotes. I need to get them. Alexander already has a frozen head of lettuce. Yeah, but you told me it was melting. Eat it. Is it... Can I not get another one? I'm pretty sure, Hey, listen. First of all, it is my birthday month. April is the best birthday month. I went to New Orleans for my birthday. Alright, so I think I need to... I got a couple of things. I don't know that I got all of the things. Yay, birthdays. Did you do anything for your birthday? I think I screwed this up by waiting too long to, Oh! Hey, look! Hey, buddy! Hello, friend. Aren't you odd-looking? I'm not. Odd-looking you are. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you could speak. Speak not. Funny is. You speak strangely. Who are you and why are you here? Away I fly my home from, lost I am. Okay. So, I already know what to do here. You have to give him this. This sentence seems in need of an ending. Perhaps you could finish it. I'm taking this creepy creature in my pants. Yeah, I kind of had like a combination Easter birthday this year because that's when all my family was going to be around. My birthday is a little earlier in the month, but everybody kind of wanted to wait until we were all together, so. Now, I think the iceberg lettuce is supposed to cool this down. Which is the dumbest. Like, of all of the puzzles and stuff, you would just think, like, it's so... that a head of iceberg lettuce is going to calm this, but whatever. Let's go. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Pond is no longer boiling, but it's hardly bath water. Who cares as long as you get across? I'm not going to go too far in here because I have to finish up some stuff on the Isle of Wonder. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this brick that's on the ground. Because literally, as with everything else in this game, these things, it says he continues down the path and gets the feeling that he's being watched. So throughout this whole game, all of these characters have like a glimmer in their eye, and they're just the genie, like the bad genie, trying to lure you into death traps. And it says, never mind that stone fella on the gate. He won't hurt you. He's just there to scare you, which is a lie. It will shoot you in the face. I'm saving the game because I'm not messing around. Because I've already done a lot. But I'm pretty sure I can just get this brick and run. Because that thing will shoot you with an arrow. You aren't going to listen to me, are you? Well, we'll just see about that. Creepy. Oh, do you like cats? Hold on. I'm going to pause this game. Here. Look. is my guy. Say hi to the nice people. This is Oliver. He's 13. And he's the best. He's wheezing into the microphone. He has allergies. Say hi to the nice people. Yeah. You like King's Quest? He's like, I like tuna. He hangs with me, like, next to me on the table. He's really cool. His name's Oliver. He has no teeth. He hasn't had them most of his life. And he's super sweet, super social, really, like, good with strangers and stuff like that. And then I also have another cat named Mia Ham, and she's like the complete opposite. She's cool and she's nice, but she's not as, like, cuddly and social. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so I have many things to get done on other islands. Oliver, I mean, it's partially because he has, like, a little bit of allergies. It's also because he's kind of fat. He's a little bit tubby. But he takes an allergy pill, but he still wheezes and he snores at night. And the way that he sleeps on me is literally like a hat. So, like, I lay on the pillow and he curls around my head and he just snores in my ear, and it's really cute. I mean, I don't want him to be, sick or anything. He's fine. He's been doing it forever, but he just sits here and watches me play. He's just really chill. He's the best. So, oh, Beckett, I love that name, and Bella. Oh, see, that's how my cats are. Oliver's like a bum, and Mia, like, if I literally, like, put her on a farm, she'd probably just become a barn cat and, like, search for mice and stuff. She's way more, like, typical cat predator than him. He's a bum. He is a bum. He sits on the cat tree or whatever and just waits for the next time that he gets a treat. Right now, he's just watching me play. He's staring at me. All right. No, I'm gonna give you your son back, ma'am. Here's your kid. There you are. I told you not to leave the island. How did he get to the other island? Oh my gosh. I love this. I love social cats because honestly, growing up, like, my entire life, I had a dog. I had a Jack Russell Terrier that lived to be almost 17 named Trevor, and he was super awesome. I loved him so much, but I always was like, I'm a dog person and cats are, like, stuck up and, whatever. I never had any plans to have a cat, and I didn't think that I liked them. And then somebody found Oliver, and they were going to they were moving, and they were just going to leave him in the backyard because they had just found him like a month before. And it just made me really sad. Like, I had gotten to know the cat by, like, hanging out at their house and everything. I'm like, you can't just leave him outside and drive away. Like, it's cruel. And so I like, adopted him on the spot. Like, I literally went to Kmart, which was still around at the time because he's 13 now. I literally went there and bought whatever I thought a cat would need, including a carrier, and just drove him home with me. And he definitely turned me into a cat lady pretty quick because he was just so social and so, like, friendly, even to people he didn't know that well. The one thing I will say, he doesn't like kids. um, I had a roommate many, many years ago who, like, had a bunch of kids over back when we used to live. This is like 10 years ago. And so she used to, I guess, like, her friend had a bunch of kids, and the kids were loud and annoying, and they would chase the cats. And so ever since then, he doesn't like kids, and there's really nothing I can do about it. I don't have any kids and there's not really a lot of kids here. Um, I forget if this is what I need to do. Guess not. I forget what I have to do with the snapdragons. Um, but yeah, I mean, not that he's not mean to kids in terms of like he won't like yeah, that's the thing. Is like when I lived in that other house all those years ago, it was like an apartment that I had a roommate with, and she had a cat, Pierre, and I had Oliver. And so her friends would come over and they would chase the cats around, and that was the problem, was that they thought they were having fun, but they would like grab at him, and they're just kids are loud. They kind of have that shriek and stuff like that. And it was too much. Like they didn't understand how to treat the cats and how to play with them. They were just very like really, really loud and too much. And so I think he just learned at a really young age that they were not friendly. So now if there are kids around, he tends to like kind of hide and stuff. Same. Yeah, no. I love my friends' kids, but not for me. Not for me. Oh, I know what happened. Okay, so earlier I kept trying to trade the map back in to get my ring because I know that I have to give the ring to the bird, but I totally forgot that I got this like valuable pearl from that clam or oyster or whatever. So I'm gonna get my ring back anyway. Your candy dish is empty. James Earl Jones is mad. Oh, he's addicted to mints, which I think is the funniest thing. I'm just like, how do you make how do you make a character addicted to mints? Like he gets drunk on mints. But he does. Um, your friend said, um, yeah, I mean, no, in no way, shape, or form am I shading anyone that has kids, because if no one has kids, then we just don't have a population anymore. But that would also be the worst thing ever for me. I I have a really good friend that has an adorable daughter, and I also have coworkers that have kids, and it really sucks because I feel like no one has anything good to say about their kids. It's like they're always like, "Oh, I want to do this, but the kids," or like, "I can't find a babysitter," or like we have work conferences that we go to occasionally that are in different cities, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know if I can go," and I'm like, "I'll go." And honestly, like again, it's whatever is cool for everybody. Some people are like, "Oh, it's such a great joy," and I'm like, "Okay, that's cool because that's good for you." But I I like to travel a lot, and I have the kind of job where I can. And that's literally why I have the type of job that I have, is so that I can work from wherever. And so yeah, I don't think I would do very well to have it where I couldn't just kind of travel and do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. I'm just not I'm not built for that. Give me my ring back, James Earl Jones. Okay. So now that I have my ring back, I can give it to Sing Sing the prison parrot and get my so Kasima knows it's me. I hope I didn't send that love note in the wrong order. I don't think I did. In this game, the voice this game has so here's the thing. This game has the option. Oh, okay. So here's the thing. I said this a little earlier, but basically when I originally played this game in the actual 90s when I was a kid, because I played 5 and 6 when I was a kid, like literally bought the box at Electronics Boutique and everything. When I originally played this game, there were no voices. It was just text. And so I'm not used to playing them with voices. It's kind of weird for me because I never used to hear them talk. But in this game, you can switch on and off. So here's the problem that I have with this is that it's not so much about the voices of the characters. It's that when you turn the voice acting on, it narrates the game. Like, see where it says like she flies off towards the castle, perhaps to Casima. It speaks all of it, and the narrator is so cheesy, like it's so corny. He's like, she flies off towards the castle, and it's like, I mean, I'm interested in hearing their voices, but not the narrator. I wish you could turn that off. A gold ring, Daventry, but this is Alexander's. He must be here. I wish you could tell me what you've seen. Is he really here on this very island? Take this ribbon. If you know where he is, return it to him. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I got her ribbon. The little bird makes a delivery. Could it belong to Casima? It does. What's this? Oh, the love poem. Oh, okay, I didn't send it yet. Alright. Sing Sing, take this love poem to her. Yeah, actually, I saw yesterday I was watching someone play Thimbleweed Park and they had some of the sound emotes. I think you have to have a lot more like followers and stuff to be able to unlock that stuff. But eventually I'd like to do that. And I actually I was trying to think of some of the sounds that I should do Zounds. I should turn on the. Can you film it off of the game? Like, can you film the audio, or is that a copyright thing? Like, how do people actually get it without getting copyright infringement? It's a poem. It's a love poem. Alexander. I was hoping he'd return to you. Take this to him while he waits. Is it a knife? Thanks, Sing Sing. Okay. That's good. I mean, I was just thinking, I mean, most of the stuff that I saw other people post, like it was directly from the game. So I figured, I mean, unless they recorded them right off of it, I don't really know how else you would get it. Dearest Alexander, I can't believe you're here. Please be careful. Abdul isn't about to let anyone interfere with his plans. Watch out for Abdul's genie and don't do anything rash. I'm not without resources. I'll prevail if I can only find some small means of defense. Do nothing to try to get to me. You must not be endangered for my sake. No words of love, only friendly concern. Is the maiden merely shy, or does she regard him only as a brother? OMG. I don't think I have to send Bird anything else. I could be wrong. A brick? Take Casima a brick for me. Alright, so, if there's an option to record. Yeah, I definitely want to do that. I have a couple of things in mind. I started making a list of, I was saying earlier that once I get to the point where I can have those emotes, like the different stickers and stuff, I really want to have the alien from Space Quest. I definitely want to have Murray 100% from Monkey Island, and then I need to have something from King's Quest, so probably Cedric, because I just feel like that's probably what everybody does, honestly. And I definitely want to do Zounds though. Now that I'll definitely record him saying Zounds. I don't think I have anything else to send to her. So Oh. Oh, I forgot about that. I need that for later. Um, okay, now I need to go give the bookkeeper the spell book. Oh yeah, this is my Sierra shirt. I don't have everything um like matched up yet, but um I have the Sierra shirt for any time I play Sierra games, which covers a ton of them. And then I also have one with the characters from Kyrandia on it, which is really cool. So that's for all three Kyrandia games. And then I have I quite a few from Monkey Island actually. I have one with Stan on the shirt, one with like a Melee Island, like a just like a logo, and one with Murray. So I think it's five total. And but honestly, the Sierra logo covers so many games, so I probably will just be wearing this. You can't really see it, but um you're not even the first person on the stream to say they have a Sierra shirt. Someone earlier was wearing one like during the stream and I was like, "Yes, those are my people." Jalo, what news do you have? Prince Alex, how I fare is close to boiling. Have you seen the wedding proclamations? No. I've heard rumors of the wedding, of course. I didn't want to believe it and never thought it would be so soon. If only I knew if Casima wished it. Tell me about the vizier. Now there's a dangerous subject. His name is Abdul Al-Hazred. Um, okay. I didn't take long for Al-Hazred to convince the king to trust him. Cool. He's had his eye on Casima ever since she was a young girl. Creepy. And she is the only thing between him and the throne. I think he'd rather keep her as a wife, but whatever his plans are, perhaps he has charmed her. The vizier is capable of anything, and Casima must be vulnerable and lonely right now. She has always instinctively distrusted him. Oh. Wait. Was I supposed to show him the letter? I don't think so. I don't think so. Does he come back? Now I'm scared. Jalo is always the one that scares me because you have to do everything right. Um. Uh. Yeah, apparently it. Well, I mean, was. This game is made. I think this one is in the early 90s. Not that that makes it okay, but I do feel like. I don't know. Maybe it was like less of a weird thing. I don't know. The question is, did I mess up Jalo? I don't think I did. I mean, I know I'm friends with him. So I'm pretty sure. All right, so let me give him this book. Very interesting. Give me my spell book. Here's the spell book you wanted, and a fair trade it is, I must say. I love how he says we must be to see how rusty my spell casting is. Like he just casts spells all the damn time. I kind of half remember what's in here. I know there's a paint the door. Oh wait, that's the boring book. Where's the spell book? Oh, I have a down arrow. Okay. Magic paint spell. Swamp ooze. That's to paint a door. Make rain spell. Oh, this one makes me so mad. This is one where Few drops of salt water not from the sea. Oh. There's so many things that you have to do before you can do other things. Charming a creature of the night. Skull full of hot oak embers. Like you just have that in your pocket. Like yeah, I just totally have a skull full of hot oak embers lying around. Um all right, well hopefully I didn't mess up the Jalo thing again. I don't think I did, but who freaking knows? Um yeah, so this this game has, I don't know what it is about this game, but I've played a lot of adventure games and a lot of like point and click games over the years, and I feel like inevitably you always get asked the question, which one is your favorite? And you have to pick one. Like if somebody is like, which one is your absolute favorite? And I always pick this one. Um, I I know that the King's, and I feel like a lot of it is very nostalgia based. King's Quest, I think, was the first point and click series I ever played. I played them in order. I played them with my dad and my brother, which is like a really cool memory to have. And five is fine. Like I really liked five. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But this game, I just think is so, the graphics are beautiful, the story is really cool, all the islands are awesome. Um it's long enough but not too long. Am I supposed to give the bird something else? I don't think so. But yeah, this, I mean, there's definitely games that I like more than others, but if you can only pick one favorite, this is definitely my favorite. And my favorite Kyrandia is number 2. My favorite space quest I think is 4. I Is 4 the one with the space pods and like the mall? Yeah, this one's, I think, I mean, I'm a big fan of Conquest of the Longbow. I've always really loved that game by Sierra. Okay, yeah, that's my favorite space quest by far. Oh my gosh, they're all good, but and I think that was probably the first one that I played. I think I have to go back here. Galaxy Galleria and the Monolith Burger. I got to the point actually, I think when I was a lot younger, I was like a pro at making those burgers. I was so fast. It was like click, 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 click. I was in there. You know, it's interesting. I've never played the Colonel's Bequest, but I have it on my wish list in Galaxy of Games, and they keep putting it on sale, and I keep saying I'm gonna buy it, but I haven't yet. And the only reason why I haven't yet is because, um, yeah, the only reason why I haven't played the Colonel's Bequest is because, as far as I know, it's a text based one. And when I was a lot when I was younger, I guess because games weren't as sophisticated, there were quite a few that I played, specifically Conquest for, is it Conquest of Camelot or Conquest for Camelot? It's a Sierra game. I think it's similar to the Colonel's Bequest in the text-basedness of it. Yeah. See, I don't know. I'm not trying to say like I I wouldn't enjoy it 100%, but there's something about those games after you play these games, the point and click ones, and especially when you play more modern games, there's something about those that are such a drag. And I hate to say it because it seems mean, like they're not good enough or something, but there's just something about those old text games that are just like, ugh. It's like so much work. But I've heard a lot of good stuff. What is the story with the Colonel's Bequest? Is it like Clue or like a mystery thing, or am I just completely wrong about that? That barking tree is creepy. All right, so I have to give the milk to the babies, which is also creepy. There's a lot of creepy stuff. And then I have to get their tears in here, which is also really weird. An Agatha Christie type mystery. That's what it seemed like from the description that I read. It definitely seemed very detective mystery, which I feel like I would like. So I'm gonna get it. I've always said I was gonna get it. I just haven't gotten it yet. I don't think it's on sale right now, but the next time it is, I'm gonna get it. Because I've only been saying it for like a year. Alright. This part's fun. What do you think you're doing? You startled me. I was just getting some swamp ooze. You know. Well, you certainly won't get it there. That's not swamp ooze. That's swamp sludge. He's right, you know, but he could be a little nicer about it. He's a stick in the mud. Nobody asked you. Oh, the trials of being a mere bump on a log. He's the stick in the mud is taunting the bump on a log. Who are you? Bump on a log, and that's my brother. We've had this thing about each other ever since our childhood. Mom always liked me best. He's lazy. Oh, like you've moved it all in the last century. Like you're Mr. Physical Activity. Just like can't reach anything. He thinks he can throw swamp matter at me and just say whatever he likes. Shut up. You couldn't hit the broadside of a barn even if you had something to throw. Okay, so I need the swamp ooze, so I'm gonna give the bump on a log this angry tomato. I thought this might come in handy the next time your brother starts picking on you. Ha, finally I'm not so defenseless. Remember all I've given you. This is funny. Okay, I give up. Aw, they're brothers again. Stick in the mud and bump on a log, take a nap, rotten tomato, being equally lazy, decides to join them. I feel you guys. Okay, so now I can actually get my ooze. That's gross. Alright. A family gathers at a patriarch's mansion for a will reading. Oh, that's very Agatha Christie. Definitely. Yeah, I played Conquest of Camelot quite a few times when I was a kid. And I mean, you walk around like it's not it's tough because straight from the beginning, because it's text based, you have to go as King Arthur. You have to go into a room where there's like different altars and stuff like that, and you have to give offerings. You have different coins in your pocket, and you have to give offerings to like different gods, and you don't like necessarily know the names of them, so you have to be like, look at this, talk to Guinevere, and like who can spell Guinevere? So it's all very specific. I think I just do like talk to woman. And as a kid, I do have to say that it felt very cool. It felt very fun. And the older I get, the more I'm like, this is tedious. It just isn't. It feels like work, essentially. Okay, now I'm gonna go back here. Is it already time for me to go to the catacombs? I feel like this is going by really fast. Maybe it just seemed more like that when I was a kid, like it seemed longer. Alright. You can't do anything for me, sir. Thank you, though. Alright, so I think I don't think I need the flute anymore, to be honest with you. I think... Alright, so if I'm going to the Sacred Mountain, which I think is the next thing to do, that somehow seems like the next thing to do, I'm gonna get the tinderbox, because if I don't, I'll die. I'm ready for this. I'm ready. Do I have to give the bird anything else? Jesus Christmas. Okay. Cancel. I'll go to the island first. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, but it's not funny, but it's funny. Like, you were scared, so it's not funny, but thinking about me in that situation and how I would freak out is funny. That's something I would do. That would happen, and I would be like, ah, battle stations. They're after me. Although, honestly, I usually just use the cats as a gauge. Like, if they hear something or they see something, I get freaked out. But if they're just sitting there, like, minding their own business and they don't look like anything's wrong, then I'm like, all right, everything's fine. Like my little guard cats. Okay. So, I'm definitely going to save my game because it's really easy to die here. Like this whole game, it's so easy to die. Alright, although I will say, I really love this part of the game. I really like the mountain, I really like the riddles, and I love up top. Okay. Alright, let's make our way up. like in Home Alone where the guy is like shooting and he's like 1, 2, 10. All right. When I played this as a kid, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm pretty sure I looked it all up. But ignorance kills, wisdom elevates. I Oh, okay. So okay. The rock has been etched by some unknown hand. One may need to read about the logic cliffs in the guidebook of the Land of the Green Isles in order to understand this mystical inscription. So in the original manual, it tells you more about this. So I know that it's R-I-S-E. Rise. Huge blocks of stone. This takes forever. Alexander stares with wonder. That's quite a way to welcome a guest, if it indeed is a welcome. So the thing I always forget is if you're supposed to use the walk character or the... This game is cruel because not only do you have to click on all of these, you can miss. Like it's so mean. You have to like, oh my god. Whose idea was this? Roberta Williams? I definitely fell a couple times in previous playings of the game. Like as a kid. And if you don't save, it's such a bummer. I learned a long time ago to save frequently in King's Quest games. It's so different nowadays. There's so many games that you don't even have to worry about it. Like, you can't die, and it's no big deal. A master of languages will... Okay, so I probably should have looked this up. Rise? Oh, this one is Soar. Soar. There's a... This one? This one? Please be right. Yes. Yeah, this one is, personally, I just feel like this one is one of the hardest things because not only can you fall on any of these little things, but I'm pretty sure if you get the... I don't know if they give you 3 tries or if they only give you 1, but if you get the riddle wrong, you fall. The whole thing just... all the steps go away and you fall to your death. It is cruel. I do think, from what I remember, though, that once you get it once, then you can just go up and down easily, so you really only have to do it one time. But yeah, this caused many a problem for me when I was a kid. This one's my favorite, if I ever get up there. Because I have to be super careful. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun. They even made the little music scary. This is my favorite. I tweeted this not that long ago, maybe like a month ago or something. I just love this poem. So they don't actually have it on here, which I think is a bummer. But I have it memorized, which is a little creepy. I've played this a lot as a kid, and it is my favorite game, so I have it memorized. So it says, 4 plain stone buttons have been carved into the cliffs. One may need to read about the logic cliffs in the guidebook in order to understand these stones. So in the guidebook to the Land of the Green Isles, there's a poem that goes along with this, and it goes like this. 4 men standing in a row. Third from the left, and down you go. The rest in order move you on, the youngest, the oldest, and the second son. So, what that means is 4 men standing in a row, which there's 4 here. Third from the left, and down you go. So 1, 2, 3. So this one here is third from the left. So if you click this one at all, you go straight down. The rest in order move you on, the youngest, the oldest, and the second son. Right? Is that it? I'm pretty sure that's it. That's not it? Oh no, I'm scared. But it's third from the left and down you go. Alright, so the youngest, the oldest, the second son. So if I click this, yeah, Alexander gets the feeling that was the wrong button. It is the wrong button. Oops. I love that he's literally gonna fall like 1,000 feet to his death, and he's like, oops. That's why I saved it. So, I think I know what I did wrong. What a riddle, stones of stealth. Find a guide to keep your health. I know it, sir. Yeah, he's just like, well, peace. So the reason why I messed it up is because I think they have the one to the right is the youngest and the oldest. So I definitely can never touch this one because it's third from the left and down you go, and that I know. So if that is the case, then that must mean that they have this as the youngest, this as the oldest, and this as the second son. Jesus Christmas. Whew. Yeah, that is why they don't actually give you the answers. Like they don't give you the order of them in the book. They just give you the riddle. So as long as I know the riddle in my head like a weirdo, I'm fine with that one. I think that might be the last one. And that makes me happy because as long as I get to the top, I know I can go up and down quickly and easily. It doesn't make you do this every time, thankfully. Oh, I'm wrong. I was wrong. I don't know if I remember the next one. All right. This is definitely the last one. Sacred Four. Sacred Four. Huh. This one is okay. The Sacred Four, this is like fire, earth, water, and air. Did I fucking get it wrong? Shit. Ooh, chocolate. I have some chocolate here. Got some peppermint patties for no reason. I love chocolate marshmallow and graham cracker. It's like a s'more. But even when they're colder, like even when they're not like campfire, I still like them. I thought I got this right, but apparently I did not. I think it's this one. This one. And the little... No? Oh, now I'm mad. Do I have to do it in order? Frick. I think it's... Actually, they don't have the, according to the back of this, it is Pattie. I would have guessed it was the other one. Sometimes I freeze them, but this one just isn't frozen because it's, from Easter. What am I doing wrong? I'm looking it up. You need to press the buttons corresponding to Azure, Caterpillar, Tranquility, and Air. Azure. Am I gonna die? We should go get peppermint patties. They're so good. They're so... well, now they come in a big thing for like $3. Okay. I think I need to really quickly look up the manual. So, I thought I had it, but it just keeps saying nothing happens. So we're gonna look up Zounds, King's Quest, Logic Cliffs. I don't know how much logic there is in these weird hieroglyphics, honestly. Sacred 4. Alright. So, according to this, the Sacred 4. See, that's weird. I was actually using those ones. Huh. Alright, let's just look at it real quick. It's really annoying. I know that there's different symbols that correspond in the guidebook to what they're looking for, but I honestly thought they were the same ones for all of the games. So that's why I'm confused, because I thought that because I knew the poem. Let's see what this happens. I'm pretty sure that maybe it's a certain order that you have to type them in, or that you have to click them. I'm kind of contemplating putting the voices on at some point, just because I'm. Okay, so it's this, 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 and this. Thank you. Yeah, the guidebook calls them cliffs of logic. Now, I can see if you're talking about like those actual riddles, like if you're actually making me solve a genuine riddle, but to have to find hieroglyphics in the Sierra manual is not logic. All right, so hi, Oliver. He's yelling at me. Hi. Get me to the top. Oh, Jesus, take the wheel. There's another one. Roberta Williams, I'm mad at you. That's what I was saying earlier. I have like, I want to say it's like a 90% recollection of the game. Like, there's a couple of places where I'm just like, did I do that in order? Or like, I don't remember. Okay, and this one I do remember. It's Ascend. Ascend. Speaking of Ken Williams, I asked for and got his book for Christmas this year, and I really want to read it, but I didn't realize how big it was. So I definitely am going to read it, and I'm looking forward to it, but I kind of need to maybe like, um, I think it's going to be a summer thing for me. Um, Ken, he does strike me as that kind of guy. Dear Hun. Um, Finally, we made it. That was a lot. We did it. Alexander finds himself finally at the top of the cliffs. Exhausted, he steps over the lip of the plateau. And there's a creepy old woman. Why do you make such an effort to climb the cliffs? The winged ones who live on this island have the power of flight. You can have it too, if only you would eat a berry from this magical flying nightshade bush. I feel like you're lying to me, old lady. Oh, did you read it? Yeah, you may roll your eyes at his comparison to Steve Jobs. Well, we all we're all self-important in our own eyes. Um I genuinely didn't realize how big it was, the book. I asked for it. I saw it I don't remember when it was. And then actually, so I had asked for a couple things for my birthday, really boring things, like one of those window shades that reflects the sun, cause it's really gets really hot in my car. So that's like the type of thing I asked for my birthday. So my parents had gotten it for me, and so my brother didn't know what to get me. And they knew that I was doing the whole like Twitter and starting to stream and stuff like that. And so my brother was like, saw the Sierra book and was like, oh, I think she would really like that, because he knew, and he grew up playing the games with me because he's only a couple years younger than me. So they got me a Sierra book for my birthday, and it was not the Ken Williams one. Apparently there's another one that was written by, I guess, just some guy. I don't think it's anybody connected with Sierra, which I appreciated, because I'm like, okay, so I'll read the Ken Williams one, and then clearly it will be his like side of the story, so to say, and then I'll read the one that was written by like a third party and see kind of how they compare. How odd, the old woman just disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Perhaps those berries are even more powerful than she led him to believe. Let's crawl in this small opening. I would love if it had cats on it. Alexander finds himself in a dark cave. Well, you do have a tinder box, so the original tinder. I think I'm supposed to go in here. It's kind of creepy. The lighting in this part of the cave is better. I think it's an herb, right? Oh, mint. Peppermint leaves are the color of dark emeralds. That's pretty. Alright, so I already have enough. I think that's all I need in here. So this is the part that I have to figure out, because if I walk forward towards the mountain, then the angel people, or the winged ones, whatever they call them, winged ones, I say winged, is going to throw me in the catacombs. Once I'm in there, I'm screwed if I don't have everything I need. So I need the brick, I need the hole in the wall, I need the scarf, and I need the tinder box. Do I need anything else? I don't think so. Winged is for the streets, winged is for school. Yeah, exactly. If I'm trying to be formal, if I'm trying to do a presentation, I'm going straight winged. Hi, Oliver. Hey, bud. I'm pretty sure I have everything I need, but I did just save that game, so I'm gonna go for it. I think I'm fine. Look, an intruder. How did you get here? I climbed the cliffs. That's not possible. No one has solved the logic, because they're not logical, in several centuries, and if they were to be solved, it would certainly not be by a human. Well, you're wrong, sir. I didn't mean to trespass. I only wanted to visit this beautiful island. No visitors have been welcome here in years, not since the red and white queens had spies. Oh, those are the chess pieces. You will have to answer to Lord Azure and Lady Ariel. Alright, take me there. Next time I do a speech, I'm gonna sneak wing it in there. I don't know how, but I'm gonna do it. I love this scene so much. It's beautiful. Like, for the time, and I'm sure Sierra always has had like the best of the best artists, but this particular scene I've always loved so much. I just feel like it's so grandiose and beautiful. With what trickery did you master the cliffs of logic and reach the city of the winged ones? Only the magic of clear thought. He's like, the magic of my high level of intelligence. I meant no harm. The cliffs of logic, it is the sacred oracle's prophecy. It is lucky for you, human, that climbing the cliffs is part of a prophecy that I cannot ignore. We have just been ordered by Vizier Al-Hazred to dispose of any strangers that live on our island, but the prophecy would have a different fate befall you. They predict that whoever climbs the cliffs will defeat the Minotaur. He has violated our catacombs and eats our young. That's gross. Our own daughter was taken there only this morning. How convenient, as his most recently demanded offering. A dilemma then, whom shall I obey? The oracle or the crown? But since Alhazred did not dictate how I was to dispose, and since you cannot possibly survive, your imprisonment there should serve both purposes quite admirably. I will not resist you in this. I shall do my best to save your daughter. Well, you don't have a choice. You're going to die either way. First, I must tell you the catacombs are a labyrinth of rooms, a place of exceeding danger. You will need many tools and clear wits. I am ready. I wonder if you're not ready if he says here, like, I need more time. I wonder if the game is programmed to do that. Because see how it says, my guard very well will take you there now? I wonder if he says, like, sir, I need more time. Like, if you climb the cliffs too quickly. I bet they do. I bet they give you more time. But I'm pretty sure I have what I need. The only thing I don't remember 100% is the floor puzzle. Why did you tell Lord Azure you were ready and willing to face the catacombs? No one is ever ready, and only a fool would be willing. And you are far wiser, I suppose, to leave a maiden to die? Ooh, sick burn. Bravery and suicide are two different things. You'll have a chance to renounce your choice soon enough when you lay trembling under the Minotaur's hooves. Yeah, see, here's the thing. You would think that, but this is King's Quest, and they literally let you walk right off the dock into the water and get pulled under the currents. But this is a little bit different just because it's a little bit different, I think, because it is an entire different section of the game. And I think you actually can come up here if you look in the manual, like if you go in there quickly and you solve the logic cliffs before you do anything else. Like if the first thing you do was land on the Isle of the Sacred Mountain and just go up there, you're not ready. There's no way you can be. So I think that they do wait for you to be ready. Although I will say that originally I didn't get the tinderbox, the firebox. Like when I was younger and I was playing this game, I would come in here and if you don't have it, you just die. So you definitely can die in here. The first room with the gears where you need to act quickly is so... I'm like getting anxiety just thinking about it. Okay, the Catacombs entrance is blocked from the outside by the Winged One's guards. It seems that leaving the catacombs by that door is not an option. Okay, so eventually I'm going to fall through the floor, right? It is a maze. It's amazing. You a rat. There's a lot of rats in here. You know what? The thing about this maze... Is this the one where it has coins on the eyes? No. The thing about the catacombs is it's like two different things in one. Because on one hand, it's you have to make sure that you have everything you need to survive it. But then once you're in here, you have to make sure that you find everything. Like if you don't pick up that skull, like if you don't do it, then, like, I think there's a possibility that you go through here and you don't find everything you need and you leave without everything you need, in which case the rest of the game will be very difficult. And I mean, like, it's one of those situations where I feel like I appreciate both ways. Like, I appreciate this where you really have to think through, make sure you have everything. Inevitably, when you first play it, or the first couple of times that you play it, you're going to find... I remember being a kid, even King's Quest V, being in situations where you get close to the end and don't have what you need and you're just screwed. And I don't know exactly when... okay. I don't remember exactly when, like, what year they started making the games where you couldn't die. Like the Monkey Island type games where there was just no way, like, it wasn't built in to have you die or to forget items to the point where the whole game was done. All right, so I'm pretty sure it's the roses, right? I don't know why. All right, we did it. And then, don't I run into somebody? Isn't there somebody in here? Yes, Lady Celeste. Ah, you are a human only and not the monster himself. I heard you coming and thought you were the beast. Did my father send you here to save me? Yes, he did, but how did you... There's no time. I think I've discovered the Minotaur's secret exit from the catacombs. Follow me and we'll both be saved. I think this is another prank. I think that this is... I fell for this the first time I played, too. If you follow the girl, because the girl, it's not the actual girl, it's the wizard taking the form of the girl. And I think if you follow her, you go right into a trapdoor. Seriously. I feel like they took pride in, like, especially it's exactly, that's what I'm saying. They were probably like, all right, they're in like the brainstorming room and they're like, yeah, we'll get them. They're in the catacombs and they think they're saving the girl and they're just walking to their death and they're like, you know, all excited. Okay, so I got the shield. I can only go north because I'm not following the decoy. I'm smarter than that, Roberta. I mean, at least it's making it so I can only really go... Well, now I can go... Oh, I just clicked something. I just saw something. You know what? One thing I do forget about this, about the catacombs, is if I stop and just wait, like if I idle, if it finds me. Like, I forget if you have to... I don't know if you have to keep moving or not. Don't steal coins from a skeleton. I feel like that's gotta be bad luck. Why are there so many bats and rats? Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do to prevent anxiety for all of us. I'm gonna save this game here and call it Brick. This room is very anxious. It's very quick. So when you walk to the right, if it's the room I'm thinking of, Alexander hears a low growling. Oh, I think I have to keep moving. The next room is a trap. And it's really anxiety invoking. It's like Saw. It's a trap. The doors have sealed Alexander inside. And the ceiling's coming down. You have to like really quickly grab this brick and throw it in here. I did it. Whew. Pretty sure that killed me a couple times as a kid. And then somewhere far off in the catacombs, the sounds of hooves faintly echo. That's a little creepy. I wonder if that's supposed to tell me that I'm getting closer. Zounds! Oh man, I should have had the audio on so I could hear him say. I want to hear him say it. Like, I want to hear if the voice actor is like really enthusiastic, if it's like Zounds, or if it's just like Zounds. Oh. Well, Alexander seems to have fallen to a lower level. Wherever he is, the place sure is dark. Whatever could fix that? Perhaps a flame? Alexander takes the candle from his cinderbox and uses it. Aha, so that's why it's dark in here. A torch is out. That is why. Okay. It's really easy to get lost in here. At least I like the rooms where they only let you go one way. I don't trust. Why don't I trust any of these rooms? There's so many traps. There's so many traps. Alexander hears the sound of a wild beast again, this time so loud that the creature itself seems to be in the same room with him. The noises are coming from the other side of the east wall. Oh, okay. Good. So this is where I have to use the hole in the wall. Alexander puts the hole in the wall on the wall. The hole in the wall trembles at the clammy feeling. Oh, okay. Ew, that's gross. Alexander looks through the hole in the wall and sees just another room. Not just another room at all, so that's why Alexander couldn't find the Minotaur's lair. At least he knows the lair exists somewhere in the maze on the other side of this wall. So he said it once before. He said it when they were in the area with the rotten tomato. And the wallflowers. When the wallflowers won't let him close, he says Zounds for some dumb reason. He may say it again, I just don't remember. Next time, because I saved my games along the way, because I saved the game along the way, I will probably be able to play it again sometime. Well, next time I come back in, I'll turn, because if you go up here, you can click text, speech, or both. So I think you can just easily... Oh, maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it works. I thought you could easily, like, alternate between the two. But I think I'm wrong. We'll see. I think I may have just... I chose text in the beginning because I really wanted to be able to read. Let's see. So many rats. Hope there's no more brick rooms. I'm taking the scenic route. I think that's a trap. Okay. So the reason why this game takes so long the first time you play it is because it takes forever to even find this room, and then if you find it before the hole in the wall thing, you can't actually do anything because you have to watch the Minotaur flip the latch in here when you use the hole in the wall to know that there is a latch behind it. So if you don't see that and you just come across this room by accident, you have to go. It's just, yeah, it can be a lot. Okay, but this tapestry. Oh my gosh. Did you notice that? When I changed it from text to both, the picture of him changed. It changed from DOS Alexander to like John Stamos Windows Alexander. I prefer the text one. That's crazy. No, I beg of you, please don't hurt me. Oh, the Minotaur talks? Interesting. It's the Minotaur and he's struggling with a winged one's girl. She must be Celeste. I do have Discord. I think I might actually just have the same, well, I don't have my own Discord, if that's what you mean. I'm not that cool. I have a Discord. I think it might just be the same username as on here, because I've been trying to keep it consistent. How do I know? I mean, I use it fairly often. For like, I'm in the LucasArts fans one, which has been really fun with the Monkey Islands. You know. Yeah, I'm the same username on Discord. It's just that my profile picture is me in a Maple Leafs uniform. As opposed to the same one that's on. Oh, we have Mia Ham has joined us, the other cat. Hi, Mia Ham. Oh, you're not being nice to the nice people. Say hi to the nice people. Okay. The not social one. You're very cute. They want to eat. Okay. So. You there, human, help me. I love how she's just like, you're human. You there, human. Wow, I don't remember that Minotaur being that scary. He's pretty scary. Oh, now we're back to DOS Alexander. Oh, it asks for the numbers after my name. It's 2870. 2870. I ask you to release your captive or suffer the consequences. He's so tough. Never. I have to say, even as a kid, I knew the answer to how to fix this which was the red scarf, because he's basically a bull. So you're supposed to, you know, entice him into the fire. Look here, you bully, because he's a bull, get it? Now you die. The Minotaur drops from sight amidst consuming flames. Have you been harmed? Are you all right? Mia is trying to get to the peppermint patties. You're welcome, winged one. You may keep the dagger as a gift for saving my life. Oh, that's nice. Now they're going to be surprised that I made it out. Ooh, there's a crow. It's probably the stupid wizard taking the form of something else. The winged one's guards, bored with the pointless waiting, are startled by the sound of a rock moving against rock. Lady Celeste, bide thee well. I'm quite well, thanks to the bravery of mere humans. So much for your superior intellects. You tell him. Bring him along, I'm going home. Wish I could fly. I see you've proven yourself the hero of the prophecy, while I am expected to thank you for saving my daughter's life. So I thank you. Well, that's a backhanded compliment. I'm expected to thank you, so thanks. Jeez. I'm obliged to thank you for the restoration of our... It's reading like somebody like reading a piece of paper. Like, I'm obliged to thank you for the restoration of our sacred catacombs. Thank you for coming to our board meeting. It is also my duty to grant you a visit with the Oracle, so this I do. And I will grant you the freedom to leave unharmed despite my orders. I have no love for Alhazred, but he is my liege, and if Princess Cassima trusts him... She doesn't trust him. Is that a Wu-Tang necklace? I don't know you or who you are. Thank you, Lord Azure. I will respect your wishes. Alright, let's see. Ooh, pretty. Hail to thee, great oracle. Lord Azure sends you this wingless male. Jeez. This wingless male. It appears he solved the cliffs and defeated the Minotaur, so I have seen. Yeah, she knows everything. You don't have to mansplain it to her. So this is the one that haunts my pool. Creepy. Princess Cassima, whatever you can tell me, great oracle. That explains my images. I see a maiden, lovely and pure, but surrounded by evil. She is a rose among thorns. It is her fate to be the pawn of dark powers, and yours to try to redeem her. Fate is not like the cut of a blade, but rather like the myriad of paths. And this is so philosophical. Any attempt to reach the girl will force you into battle. If you lose, your life will be forfeit. Yeah, we already know. I've been tried to kill, being killed 8 times already. A great darkness surrounds your adversary, preventing me from seeing clearly. I can only make out the shape of a black cloak. Jeez. There is more than one way into this place. Your choice will dictate much. Ooh. Such pain. I see 2 restless spirits crying out for revenge. These shades could help you destroy the dark force. I can only advise getting counsel from the druids. But be warned, they are reclusive and dangerous. They might aid you or they might kill you. Well, there you go. You have 2 options. They're going to help you or they're going to kill you. Like their island, the druids' nature is hidden in the mists. There is nothing more I can do for you except to give you this. Wingless male. I know, and they meant it that way too. She's like, I've brought you a wingless male. He's not winged, he's wingless. I don't want water from a sacred pool. I will take cash. But apparently I get water from a sacred pool. Okay. So I think I got that island down. Which means... I guess that means the other island is going to appear. Okay, so now that she told me about the druids and told me that the island is like shrouded by mist, now there's the Isle of the Mists. Okay, so it's a bad idea to go there without being ready. So I'm going to go here first because I know what to do here. I don't know if the druids are supposed to be done right away or not, but I can avoid them for now because I have other stuff I can do. Since I finally got that, did I get that? Yes. The shield and the catacombs, so I can beat this. Alexander decides to pass through the gate, preparing the shield just in case. Damn. Alright. Oh, okay. I'm going to take one of these roses. And then I have to go be a creeper and like bribe some girl with a rose. Honestly, it's a little... This next section is a little bit stranger danger, but I mean, we know Alexander's fine, but we'll see. Here. Let's see. I'm still so fascinated by the fact that they added voices to this. I'm so not used to it. Is Jalo gonna be in here? Yes. Egads? There's another one. Egads. That confounded wedding has the whole castle a bustle. I didn't come here to talk about that, though. I came to warn you. The vizier knows you're here. He posted extra guards, and he's telling them about a foreign saboteur. Who else could he mean but you? The vizier's genie must have learned of your presence in the land. I don't know how, but he must have. I haven't exactly been discreet, I'm afraid. Alhazard will never let you get close to her now. He's doubled the castle guard, probably to make sure you keep out. Gadzooks! Gadzooks. It's too bad there isn't some way to convince Alhazard that you've left the islands or even died. Wow, you went from 0 to 100, Jalo. Let's convince him you died. If he thought you were out of the way, you might be able to get close enough to... what an interesting thought. He's like, please stop talking about killing me. I've already been through enough. The genie's name is Shamir Shamazel. Shamir Shamazel. Alhazard brought him with him when he came to the kingdom. He probably won't directly threaten you, but that doesn't mean he isn't dangerous. He can be a terrible trickster and an ingenious spy. I love that it tells you this now after it's tried to lure you into traps for like 2 hours. It's too bad we can't get our hands on Shamir's lamp. If we had that lamp, Alhazred and all our other problems would be solved. You wish to be the master of such a wicked creature. He isn't evil. Genies never are. They reflect the owner's heart. Oh, that's nice. So how do we propose you go about getting his lamp? I was only dreaming. The lamp is heavily guarded. It would be easier to steal his own trousers. Surely a clown's hands are quick and agile. Yes, they are, as a matter of fact, but the theft would be detected almost immediately. If you could find a replica, an exact replica, I might be able to make the swap. I alone might get close enough. But I couldn't tell you what to look for. I caught a glimpse of it only once. I would know if I saw it again. If you do ever make it to the castle, look me up and do be careful. I thought I was supposed to give him the letter that she sent. I guess not. I mean, as long as we're friends. Okay. Because the thing is that, and this has happened to me at least once when I played this game, if you don't befriend him and get his trust by showing the ring, and you run into him later when you're in the castle, he like rats you out. Citizens rejoice, royal wedding. For reasons of security, it will not be open to the public. Alex Hunter feels his stomach turn. Gross. Okay. Why do I... Huh. I'm trying to remember what to do. I might have to go to the druids first. Now that I think about it, they might have something that I need for this. Okay, so... Shamir. It is a funny enough name, as is. So, the thing about the druids area is that, again, because it's Sierra and because it's King's Quest, they mess with you. So, this is what's going to happen. It's really it's fun actually once you finally know it, but not in the beginning. So, let's look in here. And we want the make rain spell. Okay, so it's few drops of salt water not from the sea, 1 vial of sacred water, and falling water. Okay, so I do need to do this first. Where do I find fall... Oh, man. I know what I have to do, but I need to, okay, I'm gonna chance it. So I need like cutting shears to be able to get through the Isle of the Beast. And I'm pretty sure that they're at the Isle of the Mists. But if the druids catch me, I'm gonna get killed. Because I'm not ready to talk to them yet. But I think I can steal some stuff from them without interacting with them. It's just that... Oh, get me out of here. Okay. So this is the druids area. And I can take a lump of coal and then also this scythe that's up here. Right? Okay. So those are the 2 things that I need. If you go anywhere else, though, if you go north, east, whatever, and you run into them before taking these things, you gone. But I definitely need these things to I'm gonna make a quick pit stop at the Isle of Wonder because I'm about to wrap up this whole island. So since I stole the lump of coal from the druids, I can settle the dispute in Chessland. Oh, what's this? The little bottle contains some sort of potion and says, "Drink me." Ooh, no thank you. Oh, you're being attacked by the sweet potato, I don't know, force. I like sweet potatoes. Why do you have 15 sweet potatoes? That's the real question. What are you doing with 15 sweet potatoes? Okay, so stop arguing. Have you thought of any more of those brilliant ideas? Yeah, actually, this time I have. I'm going to give you a lump of coal. I found the two of you another lump of coal. You can stop fighting over the one you have. What a beauty it is. Now we can stop fighting. This settles everything. Here, you can have this truly incredible spoiled egg. Gross. Oh, I like the cat emote. Thanks. I think they keep fighting. I like the shrug. He goes, what are you gonna do? You never can be too careful with sweet potatoes. They're dangerous. Okay, I'm almost positive, if not completely positive, that I have done everything I need to do here. Let me just make sure that I look here. Okay. So... yeah, I mean, listen, this game has so many good visual screens. I always liked the Winged Ones area. I like the Rotten Tomato area. And I really like the the baby heads are creepy. I really like not that I'm super into like scary stuff because I'm really not. I don't really like a lot of horror stuff, but I always really enjoyed the Land of the Dead, which we have not gotten to yet. So I wrapped up. So I'm done with the Mountain Isle. I'm done with the Isle of Wonder, and now I'm gonna wrap up this island. But this one requires a little bit of stranger danger. So I'm not going to get shot anymore, so that's good. Every time I try to go here, it'll lock it up. But now that I got my handy dandy scythe that I stole, I can get through. And there's a creepy beast who, again, is also scarier than I remember. Oh, I wonder how he is with the updated Windows graphics. I'm Alexander. I didn't mean to disturb your private garden. No, and yet you did. I suppose it's simply my nature to break through enchanted traps. Oh, you're right. You must be a prince then. Yeah, you're right. I'm glad you like it, for you will soon own one just like it. I too was once a pretty prince, caring for nothing but rescuing fair maidens. But I rankled one too many evil hags. I was turned into this obscenity you see before me, and enchanted. Surely there's a way off this island. Yeah, you broke in, didn't you? And yet, where would I go so elegantly? You see, my prison is also my sanctuary. Oh, this is getting deep. The druids stole my coat of arms. I'm afraid you don't understand. The enchanted barriers were a warning and protection for you more than for me. Your prize for forcing your way past them is to join me. By the laws of sorcery, you are doomed to be a beast. Your reward for broaching this garden is to be my slave. Damn. There must be some way to break the enchantment. Spells always have a weakness somewhere. I need only find a maiden to join me here, to share my castle, my life willingly. Take another look at me. You can't help but admire her terrible cruelty. I shall try to find a maid. Truly, how determined of you. I personally would not waste my last few hours as a man on an impossible errand. However, you may do as you please. It is my family ring and the only heirloom I have left. If you should found a maid, I'll give her this ring. She must accept it of her own free will. Okay. All right, let's go do some stranger danger. So basically, I clicked through a lot of that, but essentially, he put the hedge up so that no one would get in, because if you do get in, then you only have like 2 hours to find him a maiden to break the curse, or you also get turned into a beast. And the game is actually pretty legitimate about it. It gives you a very finite amount of time. I don't think it is a full, like, I don't remember if it's like people 2 hours or if it's game 2 hours. But I don't know if I did it on purpose or if I just didn't know what to do. But years and years ago when I played, I didn't do it in time. And I got turned into a beast. So they're not messing around. But basically what happens is there's this woman here, and she's basically very like Cinderella-y, but she loves the roses. And she's so like abused by her stepmother that the game essentially just like lets her go with you. It's kind of sad. So she loves flowers. So I got this white rose from the hedge, and it's going to get her attention. Pardon me, maid. I hope you don't think me forward, but I see you like roses, and I thought you might like this one. I shouldn't, but it's so lovely. I've never seen a rose of white. It looks so pale and delicate. Wherever did you find one of such a color? There are many hedges of them on the Isle of the Beast, and they grow together like magic. What an adventure that must be, but I should not speak so, especially to a stranger. Thank you for the rose, though. My stepmother and her children live here. I live out back in the stable. She lives in the freaking barn. A servant I am, I suppose. You see, my mother died and my father remarried. My stepmother has no obligation to feed and clothe me. I only try to repay her for my upkeep as best I can. I see. So basically the way that the game has it figured out is that she's so like abused by her stepmother that you offer her this like fairy tale life and she just walks away with you. Let me tell you about the place where the white roses grow. There's a path running through a deep forest. The path crosses 3 magic blockades. How exciting. Is it terrifying and ferocious? It is a beast that walks on 2 legs and dresses like a prince. It speaks with the voice of a man. How is that possible? Is the beast magic too? Not magical, enchanted. He was once a prince, but a witch trapped him. See, here's the thing. Didn't the beast said that the girl would need to come of her own free will, but he's basically giving it away. How terrible. Imagine how lonely he must be. It is very lonely. I have met him. He is indeed ferocious, but who would not be? I would tend to such a beast. Such a beast might find comfort in a kind face. Do you not think it so? Afraid maybe at first, but how silly of me to speak. The roses in this little yard are the only magic I will ever see. This is so sad. She's like, I could leave. I've always dreamt of leaving, but to actually go. Home is a hard place to leave, even if you're unhappy there. But I will go. If I can help him, I must. So she's just like... she's like, wherever you are taking me can't possibly be as bad as the mistreatment that I'm getting here. Where do you think you're going? To a place where roses go and to someone who truly needs me. I see you wear my ring. You willingly agreed to spend your life here with me. Do you know what that means? Yes, I do. I have been touched by your story. Pity alone need not sentence you to endure this face, but it is a gentle face and kind. Oh, he turned into George Washington. What? Speak not such nonsense, beauty. How did he know her name? Do you think I learned nothing of true love during my time here? You are my queen. Aw, good for her. Oh, look down there. There's a little weasel. That's Shamir Shamazel. How can I ever repay you? I have nothing to offer except my gratitude, but please take these old clothes. Perhaps you'll find someone in need. You've already repaid me by your example of courage. You'll always have our friendship and loyalty. Great. Accept my mirror. Thank you. Aw, that's nice. That's sweet. A little sketchy on how we got here, but it's sweet. And the weasel is going away to report to the vizier. Alright, so what we need to do is we need to make sure that we're set so we don't die. Alexander pours the contents into the hunter's lamp. And then I need to take this. So this is their definition of falling water. Okay, so I have... That skull is creepy, I'm sorry. Okay, so I have now... I put the salt water from the creepy babies. I put the vial of the sacred water from the oracle and falling water. First mix salt and sacred waters in a teapot, then add falling water. Speak incantation over teapot to enchant, and then heat to activate. So... this is where they get you. So we made the spell. I put everything into the genie lamp. I'm going to cast it. Alexander prepares to enchant the hunter's lamp. He's going to get animated with it. It's very fancy. It's very dramatic. Okay, so I think it is particularly cruel of them to add that little thing in there because if you don't, you die. So, as per usual, this game sets you up for failure. So, now that I think that means this island's done. So essentially, I mean, the Isle of the Crown is always going to be open because that's where Cassima is and that's where, like, the castle is. But I'm pretty sure all these other ones are done. So I have to go here. And this time, I'm fine if the druids catch me because I'm prepared. Oh, and they're waiting for me. How convenient. Great gods! How come we didn't say Zounds? Did you see that? A man just appeared from nowhere. Perhaps he was sent by the spirits. I see no boat. He's an intruder. Grab him. Not again. What kind of life do you have to lead for something like this to happen? And he's being escorted by cloaked men and he's like, not again. So, this is the part where, you find out whether or not you done it right or not. Creepy druids, they're in the middle of a ritual, no problem. We found a trespasser. This is Archdruid. He's wearing a tiger hat. This must be the foreigner we were warned about. How appropriate he should come during our rain festival. There's an ancient druid saying, a man who would save others must first save himself. Well, that's clever. They put me in a cage. I remember the first time I did this. I was so freaking scared. Alexander starts to feel a little warm. Yeah, I bet. His cage is really hot. The first time I played it, and I don't think I had the lamp thing sorted out, I thought he was gonna, like, I don't know, that the cage was gonna, like, set on fire and he was gonna be able to get out. Nope. Something Alexander is carrying. Egad! Thunderstorm. That man is a powerful nature wizard. He's not, but I'm happy to be considered a nature wizard. By the sacred oak. This is so dramatic. Later, after a short but furious thunderstorm. I love how they had that little cut scene. I must apologize for our rude welcoming committee. We've been feeling inhospitable ever since the winged ones stole our sacred miniature oak tree. Oh. Vizier Alhazred sent a message that we were to watch out for a highly dangerous foreign assassin. I assume you are the one he meant. I'm sure that's precisely who he meant. I mean you no harm. I'm sorry to have disrupted your ceremony. I'm running out of time. The oracle on the islet of the sacred mountain told me I should speak to you about the realm of the dead. She told me of 2 souls in unrest that I might be able to free. You're crazy. I have to do it. You'll get yourself killed. Legend has it that the right of any human to challenge the Lord of the Dead, but the knowledge of how to do so was lost centuries ago. I've only heard of one who tried it. He was determined to challenge the Lord of the Dead for the soul of his dead lover. It is said he tamed a black-winged demon-hearted... Wow, there's a description. A black-winged demon-hearted beast named Nightmare. Nightmare. Huh. Somehow the knight captured her, rode off on her back. If there was a means for challenge, it was lost with the knight. Can you tell me anything about the Lord of the Dead? Lord of Coldness, immortal. He hates mortals. Makes sense. Look now, the oak embers of our bonfire still glow hot despite the rain. If you're bent on your course, you'll need courage that's just as impervious to the chill. Jeez. Alright, so I have to remember to take some of these ashes. To tame Nightmare, which is a great name for a horse, it is... Oh, that's not the right thing. It's in here. One skull full of hot oak embers, a bit of sulfur, and a strand of maiden's hair. I actually have all that stuff. So I have a skull, which I will scoop. That's so gross. That's so gross. And then an egg. Oh, there's Zounds again. So now we know it's 3 times. Zounds. And then the strand of hair. Okay. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to... Land of the Dead. Alright. Alright, so it's been a little over 3 hours, which is what I was hoping to do today. So I'm gonna do the Land of the Dead tomorrow. I need to feed these cats and take a break. But I had a super fun time, and I hope you did too. And I will be back. I'm gonna be doing this a lot more. I'm gonna do King's Quest 6 and 7. I really want to do Monkey Island. And then maybe Conquest of the Longbow. Thank you so much for joining me. I actually had a lot of fun. That went by fast. 3 hours went by fast. So yeah, I will see you all very soon, and I will accept your Discord because I'm very excited about getting that sound. So I just saved it, right? Yes. Okay. All right, here we go. Taking off your adventurer's cap so soon? Yes, I've had it. All right, thanks guys.